What if some of the things you do every single day, out of pure love, are actually hurting your dog? It sounds impossible. They're always so happy to see you. But dogs are much better at hiding discomfort than we give them credit for.
Welcome to Pet Psychology. Subscribe right now because what you're about to learn will permanently change the way you look at your dog. In this video, we've gathered 11 everyday things that well-meaning dog parents do that can unintentionally break their best friend's heart. Number 11. Forcing hugs. You love your dog, so naturally you want to wrap your arms around them and squeeze. It feels like the most natural expression of affection a person can give. Your dog must love it just as much as you do, right? Not exactly. To a dog, having their movement restrained by something draped over their shoulders can feel less like affection and more like being trapped. In the wild, canines don't hug. Draping a limb over another animal is often a sign of dominance or restraint, not comfort. Watch closely next time you hug your dog. Many will show what's called a whale eye, showing the whites of their eyes, lip licking, or turning their head away. These are all subtle signs of stress, not enjoyment. They tolerate the hug because they trust you, not because they love it. Instead, let your dog choose the contact. A scratch on the chest, a gentle rub behind the ears, or simply sitting close together lets them feel loved without feeling boxed in.
Number 10. The same walk every single day. It's convenient. You know the route, you know how long it takes, and your dog gets their exercise. So why change a good thing? Because for your dog, the walk isn't really about the exercise at all. A dog's nose is their primary way of experiencing the world, and sniffing is how they gather information, process emotions, and mentally decompress. Researchers estimate a dog's sense of smell is tens of thousands of times more sensitive than ours. When you rush them past every lamppost and bush on the same repetitive loop, you're depriving them of the single richest sensory experience of their day. Over time, this can lead to boredom, frustration, and pent-up energy that shows up as unwanted behavior at home. Try switching up your route when you can, and let your dog stop and sniff. A 20-minute walk where they're allowed to explore can be more mentally satisfying than a rushed 45-minute march.
Number 9. What's in their bowl? Plastic bowls are cheap, lightweight, and come in every color imaginable. But over time, plastic develops tiny scratches that trap bacteria, no matter how often you wash it. Some dogs even develop a condition called plastic dish nasal dermatitis, an irritation on the chin and nose from prolonged contact. And it's not just the bowl. Water left sitting out for days can grow bacteria and collect dust, hair, and saliva. Your dog may still drink it because they're thirsty, but that doesn't mean they're enjoying it. Swap plastic for stainless steel or ceramic and refresh the water at least once a day. It's a small change that removes a source of daily discomfort you may never have noticed. Learning to recognize these small cues and giving your dog space or reassurance when you see them builds trust and can prevent bigger behavioral problems down the line. Number 8. Ignoring the warning signs. Dogs are constantly communicating with us, but most of it isn't through barking. It's through small, subtle body language cues that many owners completely miss. A yawn when they're not tired, a lip lick when there's no food around, ears pinned back, a stiff, still body. These are called calming signals, and they're your dog's way of saying they're uncomfortable, anxious, or overwhelmed, long before a growl or a snap ever happens. When we miss these signals over and over, our dog learns that these subtle cues don't work. That's actually one of the most heartbreaking parts of this mistake. A dog who feels unheard enough times may eventually skip straight to the growl or the bite, not because they're aggressive, but because the quiet signals never got a response. Learning to recognize these small cues and giving your dog space or Number 7. Punishing them after the fact. You come home to a chewed-up shoe or a mess on the carpet, and your dog is already looking guilty. Case closed, right? They clearly know what they did wrong. Except that guilty look isn't actually guilt.
Studies on dog behavior suggest that expression is a learned response to your body language and tone, not an admission of wrongdoing. Dogs live largely in the present moment and struggle to connect a punishment now with an action from hours ago. So when you scold them for something they did while you were out, all your dog learns is that sometimes you come home upset for no reason they can identify. This can create anxiety and erode trust rather than teaching the lesson you intended. If you catch them in the act, a calm redirection works far better than a delayed punishment. And for things like chewing, the real fix is usually more exercise, more mental stimulation, or better management, not correction after the fact.
Number 6. Forcing introductions. You want your dog to be friendly, so when a new person or dog comes along, you encourage them to go say hi, sometimes even pulling them closer if they hesitate. It seems like the fastest way to help them get comfortable. But just like humans, dogs need time to assess a new situation before diving in. Forcing an interaction before they're ready removes their ability to choose and can turn a mildly uncertain dog into a genuinely fearful one. This is especially true with other dogs. A tense, face-to-face introduction on a tight leash is one of the most common triggers for reactivity because the dog feels cornered with no way to retreat. Let your dog set the pace. A loose leash, a slow approach, and the freedom to walk away if they want to will build far more confidence than being pushed into every encounter.
Number 5. Never giving them space. We often think of dogs as constantly craving our attention, and many do. But dogs, like people, need downtime. Constantly following them around the house, initiating play when they're trying to rest, or not giving them a quiet retreat spot can be surprisingly draining for them. This is especially true in busy households with kids, other pets, or frequent visitors. Without a place to decompress, a dog can become chronically stressed, which often shows up as irritability or even sudden snapping that seems to come out of nowhere. Giving your dog a designated safe space, like a crate left open as a den, or a quiet corner with their bed, and respecting it as off-limits when they retreat there, actually strengthens your bond rather than weakening it. This inconsistency is a well-documented source of stress in dogs, and it often gets mistaken for stubbornness or a training failure, when really the dog was never given a clear, consistent rule to follow in the first place. Deciding on household rules as a family and sticking to them regardless of mood or circumstance gives your dog the predictability they need to feel secure.
Number 4. Mixed signals. You let your dog up on the couch when you're relaxing alone, then scold them for the same thing when guests are over. Or you laugh when they jump up on you in comfy clothes, then get frustrated when they jump up on you in work attire. To your dog, this isn't a nuanced social rule, it's just confusing. Dogs thrive on consistency, and when the rules seem to shift depending on your mood or the situation, they genuinely can't figure out what's expected of them.
Number 3. Not enough mental stimulation. Most owners know their dog needs physical exercise, but far fewer realize that mental exercise matters just as much, sometimes more. A bored dog isn't a calm dog. It's a dog with nowhere to put their energy. Many breeds were developed to work, herding, retrieving, problem-solving alongside humans for hours a day. When that instinct has no outlet, it doesn't just disappear. It often turns into digging, chewing, excessive barking, or restlessness. Simple additions like puzzle feeders, scent games, or even just a few minutes of training a new trick each day can satisfy this need. A tired mind often settles a dog down faster than a tired body. Keep the crate a neutral or positive space. Feed meals in there, toss treats inside throughout the day, and never send them in as a consequence. That way it remains what it's supposed to be, a safe retreat, not a punishment cell. Number 2. Using the crate as punishment. When your dog misbehaves, sending them to their crate can feel like a natural timeout, similar to sending a child to their room, but a crate that's meant to be a safe, cozy den can quickly turn into a place of fear and confinement if it's only ever associated with being in trouble. Dogs don't reason through punishment the way we hope. What they learn instead is that the crate, and sometimes you, means something bad is about to happen. This can undo months of careful crate training and create anxiety around a space that should feel like their own room.
So the next time your dog digs up the garden or barks at the mail carrier, try pausing before getting frustrated. Ask what need isn't being met and look for a way to satisfy it rather than simply suppressing the behavior. Number 1. The biggest mistake. Not respecting their nature. It sounds obvious, but it's the root of almost every mistake on this list. Dogs are not furry little humans, and they're not simply here to fit into our schedules and expectations without needs of their own. They come hardwired with instincts to sniff, to chew, to dig, to bark, to seek companionship, and to need downtime, just like every mistake we've covered today. These aren't bad habits to be trained out of them. They're expressions of what a dog fundamentally is. If this changed how you see your dog, share it with one person whose dog deserves to be understood. Subscribe to Pet Psychology and drop a comment with the behavior on this list that you see most people do. We read every single one.